Chapter 6, Hunting Shadows. The city was different after midnight. Lights dimmed. Patrols grew less obvious, but no less dangerous. The grid didn't sleep, it simply grew quieter, more patient. Tessa Monroe moved through the back sectors with careful, practiced ease. She wasn't just hiding anymore. She was hunting. And that meant sooner or later, she would be hunted in return. The plan was simple, at least on paper. Find someone who knew Nathan Camble before he disappeared. Find someone who remembered what really happened inside the grid's early days. But even in her gut, Tessa knew the danger. In a world where memories could be flagged as anomalies, asking the wrong question could be fatal. She tapped into her old contact network. Not through signals. Not through phones. Through the old ways. Paper drop points, physical markers, burner notes left in specific cracks of the city. There were still a few ghosts out there. People who survived by remembering how to forget. One of them answered. A former network technician, codenamed Orson, who had helped wire the early grid subnets before everything went dark. The message was short. Meet. Sector 4. Old Rainlight Bar. Midnight. Come alone. Tessa made the journey slow, careful, doubling back 3 times to make sure she wasn't followed. The Rainlight was a ruin now. Its neon sign hanging by a single bolt, buzzing in the damp wind. She slipped inside through a cracked service door and waited in the back. Minutes ticked by. Then an hour. Orson never showed. She left carefully, every nerve on fire. The streets outside were emptier than they should have been. And there, subtle but unmistakable, 2 patrol drones floated silently overhead, weaving lazy patterns that didn't feel so lazy. An old security van idled near the main access road, windows dark. Her heart hammered against her ribs. Someone had heard the question. Someone was already closing the net. Tessa didn't run. Running drew attention. She moved into the next alley, ducking through old scaffold tunnels, losing herself in the forgotten architecture of a city built on surveillance and fear. Far across the city, Nathan Camble worked by the faint glow of an old maintenance console tucked inside a hollowed-out transformer station. The virus was progressing. Faster now. He tapped into a passive feed he'd rigged earlier, routers infected across 6 sectors. Minor critical systems already showing symptoms of instability. Small things. Unimportant things. For now. Nathan connected another segment of his code. Embedding small, synchronized timers across the infected routers. Not to detonate yet. Only to prime them. The final collapse wouldn't come until the day he chose. The day the world was ready. But still. Something gnawed at him. The background traffic felt edgier. Cleaner. More watchers online, even at night. The system was hunting something. Maybe not him yet. Maybe just the usual tightening before another public purge. But he knew better than to assume safety. Tessa slipped through a maintenance corridor 2 districts away now, keeping her head low. She didn't go back to the safe house. She had already burned it in her mind. Too dangerous. She needed to find new shelter. New cover. She needed to vanish all over again. Later, huddled in a service alcove lit only by broken exit signs, Tessa pulled out her battered recorder. Her voice was a low whisper against the rising hum of distant patrol drones. Contact compromised. No information retrieved. Surveillance tightening in lower sectors. Assume all movements compromised moving forward. She clicked the recorder off and shoved it deep into her coat. She wasn't chasing a story anymore. She was fighting to stay invisible long enough to find the truth. And every step she took brought her closer to something she couldn't quite see yet, but could feel breathing at the edges of the grid. Nathan wiped the console screen clean, packed the last pieces of gear into his battered duffel bag, and moved on into the night. Another sector. Another empty building. Another day burned from the calendar. 13 days left. The clock kept ticking. And the storm kept building.